So
Memorial Day
live.
occurred in
We are going
1868.
live.
So
Alrighty.
technically,
We are now
that is
live.
correct.
So
Cool.
we are now live. So
Hello.
welcome to anybody who is joining us, which at the current moment is 0 people. But oh, here we go. You're in San Diego? Oh, no, wait, hold on. I was going to say you're like but you're making an Anchorman reference here.
I haven't seen that movie yet. Still.
It's an old movie. But yeah, and I was gonna say like, oh, we should hang out, but then I remembered like San Diego's on the other side of the state.
I'd imagine living in a
to,
state so big that you traveling to one end of it is like going to a different country.
Yeah, it's like 12 unironically, dude, 12-hour drive. Like I drove across Europe in less time than that. Just for reference. Versus a 12-hour drive, you're still in California. Okay. Wow, we were being roasted by Dom here. All right.
Okay, so I was wrong. Well, only half wrong. It turns out that it is a day where we memorialize American servicemen, generally speaking, who have fallen in combat. But it began after the Civil War. So, like, it started by honoring Union veterans, and now it's just veterans who died
In general.
But it is also separate and distinct from Veterans Day.
We care too much about the troops, man. You get too attached to the troops, and you don't want to send them out to die anymore. We got to tone it down.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. So, anyways, for
Nothing
anybody
controversial
curious,
about that at all.
we
All right.
were, yeah, we
So-
were not sure about the nature of Memorial Day, as our American viewers here may be aware of. Memorial Day is the holiday today, but our non-American viewers, it is a holiday today, where we.
Wait, we're international? I didn't know that.
We are international occasionally. I don't know about today. If we have any international viewers today, please do let us know. But we just, not sure about the nature of Memorial Day. We celebrate it allegedly to honor the fallen. And, sometimes it's good to double check, because because what they have written down is not always the, what the common knowledge is, right? So it's always good to double check. Make sure you know what you're celebrating.
Be informed about your. Yes.
But anyways, so this week we have to. Oh, so last week we. I don't even know what happened last week. It was quite the roller coaster. We had several crashes. We had a gamer in chat, let's just say. So very interesting. Winton went on a semi-strike. It was very, very interesting.
Highly successful, a win for the workers of the world and of advanced agricultural technologies in particular.
Yes, and from that.
Why did you hesitate? Of course, management would hesitate.
You are management, man. We're still like not sure. This is a cooperative operation, right? Like you are management. I don't know what you're striking against here, but
I think it is the greatest measure of political purity to strike against oneself, to demonstrate that truly, there is no boundary that we are not willing to cross.
Okay.
I mean, wait, no,
right.
We don't cross boundaries.
There are some boundaries which we should not cross, but you know what?
I'm
props to
just
you
working
for
extra hard to make sure that I represent my own interests, and if that means sacrificing my interests in order to represent my interests. This makes it sound like I don't respect striking, and I want that to be. That is not the case.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I also respect striking, which we may have to do at the day job in the upcoming months, but we'll see how it goes. Contract negotiations, how they may be. So,
I just want you to know, if they try to screw you over, Advanced Agricultural Technologies will go on a sympathy strike in order to support you.
Okay. Yeah,
Is this
this
for
is.
real? Is there a possibility of a strike coming
Yeah,
up?
there was yeah, the university a couple months ago, the lecturers almost went on strike, and then the university caved immediately. They're like, "Oh no, we can't have this." And then yeah, in the next couple of months, well, the contract negotiations are currently ongoing, so we'll see how it goes. So but anyways, yeah, so this week, let's figure out what we need to do is Winton's gonna continue arting up the Blythe, okay? It's getting
For somebody who does not have skill in this area, I think
well
I'm doing a pretty horrific job.
I it 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 could be worse.
We're going to have like a nightmare mode, and that's when all your assets are going to come into play.
I'm not even working on the game. This is all DLC.
So in order to make use of this though, Hayden and I are going to figure out how to do the animation system. So I guess with that, let's get grinding. We'll focus here on Winton's screen in the meantime, and I will go ahead and where is my Godot? Here it is. All right, here you go, and you can watch my stream. We can figure out what's going on here. Oh, you also have been editing levels. Oh, you figured out tile
Yes.
maps. Okay, excellent.
Yes. Well, um, I don't know what the tool is for mapping,
Mm-hmm.
but I can control D and it copies each individual tile and you just drag it.
Oh.
And you turn on this little button, grid snap,
Mm-hmm.
to lock them in place in exact increments. And this little guy here, I don't know if you can see,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the player from Kids Can Code,
Mm-hmm.
and I got him all animated up.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
I just don't. I have all the animations created. The only ones I have implemented are walking right and left.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I think it's because it's on loop. Even when I stop inputting from the keyboard, it still, does its thing.
Okay. Well,
Um,
can you show us? Let's see what's going on. You might have to share the
yeah.
entire screen instead of just the
What am I? Can you not see something?
No, I can't. Yeah, because it opens in like a different window. So then Discord
Oh,
doesn't recognize it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can share everything. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Whoever is our viewer in chat, we appreciate you. So, um, just know that you are important to us. So, hopefully your day is
Okay.
going well.
All
Oh, it's
right.
Winton. Okay.
So it's very small.
Yeah.
I need to make the size of him bigger,
Mm-hmm.
but basically you can see that, if I move right or left, he does the running animation, but when I stop,
Mm-hmm.
he still does the running animation. So I'll need to change that. Actually,
Well, let's open up the
I
code. We
think
can
I
take
already
a
have
look.
it figured out. Yeah, hold on. I have an idea. If I go to
Also, I want to look at the camera
the
when you have a
script.
chance. But
Okay.
we'll do that in a second.
Let's make this an elif, and then let's add an else. and do animation player dot play idle. And let's see if that fixes it. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm idle right now.
Okay. Excellent.
So that's all it is. And I guess for every single other thing, like I can do elif input dot is action pressed jump. And oh wait, hold on. Is there? Oh,
There
never mind. I already
is.
have one down there. Yeah. So, why don't I just make this part of this series here? Make it jump, save, run. Okay, maybe I should be down here before I jump.
We might need to adjust the parameters a little bit, but okay.
I think it's doing the jumping animation, but the jumping animation is so short, and I think my gravity is a little too extreme. For the gravity and the animation timing is not lined up. But yeah. I also got the let's go back to, there we go. Oh, the animation player. Merely one. There you go. Merely two. And merely three. I just don't have. Oh, well, that's weird. I don't know what those things. That must be from the sprite sheet.
Yeah, it's being it's clipping too much out.
That's an issue because I didn't even make that sprite sheet, so that's a little problematic. But at least there's not going to be any collision going on up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much where I'm at. I just don't have anything in the game to fight.
Oh, yeah.
So
well, I guess we could make some sort of enemy right now temporarily.
Yeah.
Deal with something.
I also have to map some moves too.
What do you mean map some moves? Like with the state tree?
Like the input mapping.
Oh,
I have not done the tree yet.
Oh, okay.
The controlling animation state section. I did the one before that, because I think you needed to have all of the animations done before you do the animation tree.
Well, it definitely makes it easier to like check your work.
Yeah. So this is pretty much where I got up to 3 hours ago.
Hi, knock knock. Do you guys mind if I interrupt?
Yeah, you can interrupt.
Sure.
So I'm looking at this spreadsheet that I've made, and I'm trying to figure out where to go next. I've got a bunch of different heads. How do I implement these heads, or is there something that these heads need that I'm missing? Because like I'm thinking, okay, we put these in game. Is like our character going to be the one sprite that changes its appearance based on input, or is the sprite going to be different objects working together?
Okay, so the I think the head sprite will be a separate object from the body sprite. So they'll be like two separate things, but they'll be working in conjunction.
Second question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that the character wants to walk, right? Remembering what we learned in video on the game dev conference video, whatever, in the video on Game Feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to communicate feedback. So something that I think would be really funny is like when the character walks, once the head reaches a certain size, it starts to sort of lag behind the body because just like sheer air resistance is pushing it
Yeah.
back. So like imagine as you're walking, this thing. How do I?
Just
This
like
is
it
this.
just like rotates, like it starts running. It's like, oh, like,
Yeah, it does
yeah,
this number.
yeah, yeah.
Is that a thing that I need to animate, or is there a tool? Uh-oh. Sorry. Okay, I've discovered something here. Or is there is there a mechanic within the engine itself that will allow us to have the head angle itself?
Yes, you
Is that a thing that I
you
need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
animate, or
We
is that a
can
you
thing that
can
I'm
code.
doing?
No, no,
alter
no.
rotation
We can.
properties.
Yeah, we can do that, and I think it might be a little bit better
What
because
we're
like
seeing right now.
yeah, because
Yeah.
what you're doing, it's like trying to move all the individual sprites, but like Godot, because like the actual like rendering is higher resolution than the pixel art, like it doesn't need to do what is going on right now, where it's like redrawing individual pixels.
Okay. So then we only need one kind of head. This head.
Yes, yes, correct.
Although that would be, I'm
I
not
mean,
saying we should do it, but it would be an interesting, like, artistic choice to do all the rotations within a sprite, because you would
mm-hmm.
literally see pixels changing in real time as the characters are moving around.
Okay.
But
So that could be good. I mean, do you want to make like, I mean, just duplicate them and then just make like like three rotation frames like for each one. Like so one like it's standing up and then the second one is like going back and then the third one like all the way back. You know?
I don't know. I think if there's something in the engine that will move the head for us, it's not only going
Mm-hmm.
to look better, it's going to be smoother.
Yeah.
yes, and yes,
Well, it'll be
you're
less
totally right.
work also for us to
Yes.
like because
I was just floating that out there, like it
yeah.
would be cool if I saw another game implement that, and I
Yeah.
would know, like we would recognize exactly what was happening too, that
Oh,
the
that's cool.
rotation
Please
was
say
being
your
done.
suggestions for other games for other games,
Yeah,
please.
okay. Yeah. All right. We'll stay out of the
What was it? That was
hypotheticals,
some violence chosen right there, man.
I've been watching a little too much Tim Pool. I got a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
hypotheticals in my head,
That's well. I think there's your first problem there.
I want to take his theory class on how Marvel movies explain politics. Like, I'm dead serious. I've gotten into this thing where I've started studying the works of people who don't know what they're talking about, trying to like explain their personal philosophies, and I find it a genuinely deeply interesting subject. Like, I'm being silly, but to some degree, I really do want like I want to read Tim Pool's manifesto so that I can understand his brain, and not just him, but other people.
It's why he wears the beanie, to shield us from all the electromagnetic radiation, because it's working in overtime, over there
I
penning
think
such important political treatises, such as how the Marvel Cinematic Universe explains modern politics.
there's just like like it tickles something as both an appreciator of art and somebody with like an English degree. So oh yeah, I understand analysis. I can do textual analysis too. Please explain your textual analysis to me. But we're getting sidetracked. Right. Okay. So I've got these heads.
Okay, so let's sit on the heads for a minute, and then in the meantime, can you make us an alligator man? Just a single sprite for right now, just so we can have a bad guy that we can play with.
Single spread alligator man on it.
Yes.
We're also going to have to like whenever are you done with the sprites? Like these 8 heads? Is that
Well,
completed?
technically, I'm really just sort of like
We're
I mean, yes, I am done with I think all the work I can do on these, but I'm not art. I'm
I
not the head
would
of the art
be.
department. I'm more like the what's a good. I'm sort of like a dude who wandered into the art department, and the art department head was like, "Sure, here's some paper and a pencil. Go over there. Leave me alone to do the real work." And that's what I've been doing this
you
whole
are the
time. Whether or
concept
not this is
artist.
useful,
I
I'm not
think it'll
even.
be useful. You know, it's actually much better than I thought it was gonna be. As horrific as it is, I feel like it's appropriate for our. Oh, we've lost the entire. We've lost all our viewers. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
That's awkward because I'm still watching.
Oh,
Where
Me
have I
too.
gone?
Me too.
oh, you guys were the two viewers we had. Oh, jeez.
Trying
So,
to inflate the numbers. Got to make things look
I.
productive.
Okay, well, we have
We
a.
could always like pay for a bot subscription to come watch our streams.
I
Have
wonder
like 1,000 viewers.
would that be a bad idea? I'm not
Yes,
convinced
yes,
that
it
would be.
would.
Yeah.
Yes, I think.
Depends on how much it costs. I know Logan's sister paid for that and to make her Instagram look like she was really
Did it
popular.
work?
Yeah, she has like thousands of followers or
But
something.
like real ones are still bots.
Oh no, they're not real. They're bots. Uh, I'm guessing like it's they have to be bots because how would you
Well, I
collectively
mean,
get a bunch of people together to all go follow someone while
no,
only
sorry.
charging?
I've miscommunicated. I mean, did like hiring a bot army to inflate her numbers, like attract actual people through the sheer force of
Oh,
presumed
I
popularity?
I've seen some like people analyzing that. Like there's a lot of like YouTube videos where they analyze it. It doesn't seem like it's legit. Um yeah, like I don't really think it's good, you know. I mean, obviously morally it's very it's a very sketchy thing. Probably not very
Is there
honest. But
any
I
like,
think
does it put us up? Like, if you were to search YouTube, like current live streams, would that push us up in the algorithm if we had thousands of viewers as opposed to,
I
you
I
know,
I don't know. I mean, I think YouTube, you know, just from like their perspective, they're always trying to like they want real engagement because like the big problem is like advertisers, they don't want to be tricked. Like, oh, this person has, you know, 10,000 viewers a stream, but
right?
you know, but it's all fake, you know. They don't want to, you know, so YouTube is
Mm-hmm.
it tries to minimize that, you know. Um
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't think it's beneficial in that sense. Probably actually a very bad idea. So especially, you know, because they might go back at some point and, you know, try to correct things to be more accurate. You know, take away bot streams and
Right.
delete bot accounts. So
Yeah, it doesn't. It wouldn't feel right either. Plus, it'd be like, oh wow,
yeah.
these guys out of nowhere start streaming and already have thousands of viewers. That
Yeah, well, plus
doesn't
it
make any
looks bad
sense.
too, you know. If like somebody comes and they're just like looking at like, oh, 1,000 viewers, but then chat is
Yeah.
like dead, you know?
Plus,
Like,
now that we've talked about this on stream, well, obviously the
yeah.
evidence is there.
Do we not? Well, I don't know. There's nobody's watching. I think we could get away with it. I think
No,
we could get away with it.
so no, we're not. This is obviously a joke.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
If anybody can slog through our older content to find this exact phrase, maybe they deserve to call us out.
This is what the mob does. This is how people get taken out.
Oh, I see. Bring it all back to cancel culture.
Sorry, I just read the chapter on how to deal with the mob or whatever,
I'm
and
so glad you're finally going through that.
it's been very fun. I look forward to the parts of the day where I get to read that and make little notes and drawings myself.
It's
What?
great. You're gonna love this book when it eventually gets to you. We're passing around a copy of. You remember when you sent me "Don't Burn This Book"?
Mm-hmm.
We finally, I think a couple of months ago, I finally gave it to the next person in the chain, who's this man here, and then
Okay.
I think he's going to send it to Deck next. It's eventually going
Yep.
to slowly make its way back around to you.
Okay. All right.
And then back to us.
We've been like leaving notes and doodles in it and stuff though. It's great. You'll love it.
Okay. Already. That's
There's some
very
pretty
funny.
hilarious stuff in there already after just going through 2 people.
I tried not to.
Pretty.
I tried not to fill it up because I wanted to leave space, but at the same time, it was hard not to fill it up.
There will be plenty of space for 3 other people after me. Wait, it'd be Deck, Far, and I don't know if John would watch it or not. I mean, read it or not. But yeah, he
I don't
might.
know.
That's very interesting.
Either way,
that's,
there's plenty of space.
Oh man, I can't believe I spent money on that thing.
Dude, it's bad. It is so bad. Like there are honestly some parts where like I'm reading the build up and it's like, okay, all these numbers and stuff is bullshit. But then you'll finally get to that last paragraph and you're like, this was the point you were trying to make? It's crazy, dude. He's so stupid. Like he doesn't have any original ideas about anything.
There's an
He's so incredibly dumb.
There's an entire section that's just him quoting PragerU video transcripts.
Oh my god. Oh, this is funny. I remember like reading I was watching a video yesterday about there was just some controversial topic on the Wikipedia page, and then like the Wikipedia page cites like this one quote unquote expert, but then you go look at that expert's work that they cited and it quotes Wikipedia. Like, it's just like a circular logic, like, oh, this guy's legit because he quotes Wikipedia, and that's like Wikipedia thinks he's legit because he like, I don't know, like it's funny, the circular logic. But
yeah,
anyways, okay, yeah, but we have to figure out this. I feel like we're gonna have to actually start like working off stream because we just getting too distracted here. Yeah, we should probably take
I've been
our
putting more
work
time
seriously.
into it this week.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm finishing up the quarter this week, so I should be more free to do things.
You're good.
But
I mean, my plan this week is to go through the melee attacks and then the controlling animation states and to actually get all of the stuff working. And I feel like once we get the animation tree figured out, hopefully we'll have an in-house sprite sheet ready to go. We can maybe not like a full one, but just a couple types of animations we can mess around with. And also I was wanting to take some of Dom's background artwork, like the city stuff, and try to somehow put that on loop, you know, like make the background, and as you traverse further right, it just loops more of the same. It's just like an old Flintstones cartoon, you know,
and
it's
like
the same background but just looped.
Yeah, well, I was, I think one of the things with parallaxing, I was watching like a video talking about like forced perspective and parallaxing, and I definitely learned some interesting things. Like, you know, as you get further, you know, things become like, you know, the shadows become softer. They, you know, sort of that you start losing level of detail, and then you know, you start having sort of like a blue shift in addition to things become like less saturated, and then there's also like a blue shift. So it'd definitely be very interesting to start working on, you know, parallax in a cityscape like that. But, you know, we'll worry about that in the meantime. I think right now figuring out what we can do. I'm looking at our sort of to-do list here. And let's see. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start working on like a collectible script. So while you work on the animations. So let me go ahead and figure this out.
One cool thing from the tutorial that I found in regards to collectible. Let me see if I can find that script. Oh, this line right here, rotation degrees plus equals 90 times delta.
Yeah.
That's just a cool way to make the collectibles like spin. And I'm sure that, they could be bound. Yeah, that's what's causing the spinning right here.
Oh,
Little
okay.
nice little thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we might want to do something a little bit more, like, because the eggplant, it wouldn't necessarily make sense for the eggplants to be, like, spinning
Right,
constantly, so,
eggplant would probably bob
yeah.
up and down or
Yeah, it
something.
could move up and down, or it could, like, you know, sort of,
Maybe it drips
like
a little
pendulum or something,
moisture.
You know? Yeah.
It's a hot day, the
Okay.
eggplants sweat a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna follow that one anywhere else.
No. Didn't
So,
expect anything less.
yeah. Well, let's see.
We could storyboard of ideas for this, the main story of this game.
Storyboarding?
That would actually be the only thing I can meaningfully contribute to.
Okay.
It's weird that I've been on this project and I'm finally doing something that's actually in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, well, let's see. Okay, well then I guess we could storyboard. Yeah, nobody's watching the stream, so I guess it doesn't matter what we're doing or not doing here. Let me go ahead then and make a new thingy for us so we can start storyboarding. Oh my god, I hate this screen. Where I need to change it to dark theme so I can.
So I definitely see an alligator, but what about it is supposed to convey DeSantis? Is it the nails?
The toupee. Okay.
Oh wait, actually, I have a hold on. I can fix this. I think I have a legitimate answer to that question. Give me a second. I'm making the second arm. Let's get rid of the tongue. Place it. A tie.
Okay. We'll worry about this tie later. Let me go ahead and.
You know what? The hand is in the way. You can't even tell it's a tie. Can you tell that's a tie? Or does it? It doesn't look like it.
You'd have to finish the tie first. So he's not wearing a suit, it's just a tie that goes around his neck and just hangs down?
I guess I could try putting him in a suit.
That's fine. I was just wondering if it was just going to be the single tie.
Well, you see, I'm
pretty
just
funny.
drafting right now. None of these are meant to be final versions necessarily. This is all
Got you.
just concept, concept art. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are rough drafts. I'm gonna stick with this though. I like this for something that I was only halfway seriously drawing. This from a distance does look like an alligator walking. Maybe.
It does. No, that is exactly what I would interpret. If not an alligator, some kind of dinosaur, but
Yeah.
close. But no, well, I'm not sure. Let me Google real quick. Are alligator claws white? I guess that's an acceptable color. Well, I see a lot of
Alligators
dark ones.
have claws.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course they do. Of course they do. I've seen an alligator before. I've been to a zoo.
Okay. So I sent you guys the link for the storyboard. And
Yeah, I'm in. Oh, let me change my account. All right, I am inside the board of stories.
Request sent. You'll get an email letting you know if your request was approved.
Oh, try again.
I hate that. This stuff is annoying.
Fellas, have you ever gone to the work meeting and your boss has been like, "What's the password?"
Try again. Try again. It should work now.
Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and share this bad boy. Okay.
All right. So we're talking we're talking stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing: if we're talking stories, we need to understand some things about how stories work.
Go ahead.
Stories.
Oh, you're writing. Okay.
Work.
Okay.
Okay. So, first off, you have drama.
Okay.
You have agony. You have irony. And you have
Comedy.
a fourth thing.
Conclusion?
These are a collection. These are a conclusion. Sorry, these are a collection of words. No, okay.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to tell a story. I'm no expert by any means, right? You understand the basics. You've got a conflict. Oh, fourth conflict. That's right. That was what the fourth thing was. How do I? There we go. Conflict. Eh.
These aren't like in a order. These are just elements necessary to telling the story.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes these make up a story. I'm just putting these down here for my own benefit. You
Okay.
understand, like, broadly speaking, how stories go. You know, you've got this little graph. It's introduction, and then rising action, climax, falling action, conclusion.
I remember this from English.
Yeah, you took a high school English course. You understand the very basics. And so building a story is about arranging events such a way that you slowly build toward this climax, and then you let people down. What these words actually mean, right? Okay, so there's different things that you can build a story around that make it interesting, right? And to some degree, all four of these words are actually all part of the same thing. Conflict is just this part. Conflict is what makes this work, and these are different kinds of conflict. Like drama is it's putting things in there that are kind of interesting, that like tickle the mind, like, ooh, how is this going to conclude itself? I don't really know. Irony is part of that, I think. It has something to do with wow, for somebody who studied this, I'm doing a terrible job of explaining how it all works.
You're doing fine.
And then the agony thing is something that I find really interesting because it talks about the principle behind it is that, like, the choices that characters make in old Greek tragedies weren't fascinating because they were hard or difficult choices, but because they were agonizing choices, right? Things like, oh my god, not like, if you had to choose between, I don't know, a frog tells you have to kill one of your parents. The thing that makes it interesting isn't the impossibility of, oh no, which of my parents do I kill, but the agony of having to make the decision itself. And I forget why that's relevant to storytelling. Again, I studied English. Just take my word for it. I know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so next slide, please. How
Next
do I
slide.
head to
Okay,
the
at
next
the very
slide?
top, there's a next slide button.
Ah, excellent. Are we on slide 2? Why
We're
are
on
there only
slide
4
2.
slides?
We can add more
Okay,
slides.
I'm there with
Don't
you.
worry about it.
Okay, so our story. We also want to hell. So we want to sort of brainstorm what we want the story to be about broadly. What where we want it to go, what some of the plot points that we have in mind are, and this is just sort of where we get out the ideas that we want to build the story off of down. And then from this point forward, we'll actually start trying to weave them together into something that makes sense. So we know eggplant, but
There's one thing I know, it's eggplant.
what about eggplant?
They are more than just a phallic symbol.
Phallic. Yes, good one. Good one. More than. Oh my God, I really need like a pen that I can write this with.
Like
Doing
a
this with a mouse is
tablet.
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's not.
More
It's not like
than.
there's a text box tool that you can use to type things.
Oh my God, that would be a great idea.
He's he's being a guy from. There is a text box tool, Winton. I don't know if you
What?
got that. There is a text box tool.
Where?
You
It's
see
on the side.
on the left
There's a
the
T
toolbar,
inside
the
of a
one with the
box.
T.
Oh, I thought that meant to make a frame.
No, that's for typing.
Okay, cool. Well.
I mean, it's not
oops.
as fun as writing, certainly.
So
But
point number 2, right? We want more than eggplant. Okay. Well, we also know that we want this character of ours go on some journey with the eggplant, right?
I think he's on the
Why does
journey
she
for the
want-
eggplant. He's not with the eggplant.
Why does he want eggplant in the first place?
Ooh, good point. Excellent. Yes, motivation are here.
All right.
The motivation isn't just crucial for giving the character some reason, some agency within the story that they're telling, but it also helps the person who's experiencing the story understand why what's taking place is taking place. It also, within the context of video games and video game design, gives the player a reason to want to do a thing. They are the character more so than the sprite is. So motivation. We need to give them a motivation to collect the eggplant. Yes.
Okay, so
Very good.
in the year 2078 in Florida, men seeking eggplants are illegal.
A little too on the nose. What if we just make eggplants illegal
Okay.
for
All right.
unspecified reasons, and then this man has a hunger for the
Okay.
eggplant? Yes, this is another element. Subtlety.
Okay, oh,
I'm
subtlety. Okay.
adding that to slide 1.
Oh, okay, going back to slide 1
Subtlety.
here. Subtlety. Subtlety. Sub.
Subtlety, we don't want to come out and say that.
Subtlety.
that Florida is destined to be an anti-gay ethno-state.
Whoa, hold on. Okay, I'm adding another thing. For no politics. No
Whoa.
politics.
Before you write that down, we literally have a DeSantis alligator.
He's wearing a suit and a tie. I don't know if I would go that far.
Okay, so he's not a DeSantis alligator.
Oh, I can change the pin color. Well, that's cool.
Even though it's in Florida. In 2078. Also,
Yeah, this
since
is
it's
a politics
2078,
free
this city
stream.
we're talking about, is this Orlando? Like, this has to be something very inland.
We
Because
said
Miami
we're
even a
starting in
thing
the
in
Everglades.
2078?
I don't think it specifically
I don't
matters.
think the
You know, but we don't put politics in our video games. Okay, it's just called lore.
so global warming has not happened. The Everglades and Miami still exist.
That's just lore, okay? That's just lore, okay? It's just in
Okay,
this
all right.
in this story world, okay? The climate has changed. But that's not
Okay.
that's not related to any real world political events, okay? This it's just the story. Okay, it's just the lore. there's no deeper analysis here that can be done. Okay. Let's see.
Jesus, no, I want to make the box bigger, not the text. There we go. Thank you.
All right. Well, that changes the way I'm approaching the story if there's no politics involved.
Why can I make the text box longer but not taller?
Just start typing. See what happens.
This is why I... Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ, setting detail.
I don't know why this reminded me. Just in House of Cards, there's like the one subplot where the like one gay activist is like arrested, and then Claire goes to like visit him in prison, and they're like, "Oh, your husband," and he's like, "Oh no, we hate each other, but we just do it for the cameras," and it's just like, I don't know why I remembered that, but
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about.
Did it remind you? Yeah. What made
I don't
you
know.
think of that?
Because I don't know. It's just like something. It just feels very cynical, you know. It's like, oh, there's like, and that's like the opposite. That's like only politics, you know.
Do you want to implement that idea somehow of there's like a relationship that only exists for public image reasons, and that's it?
I don't know. We have to think about it because I don't have a good idea of how to process that at this current
Maybe
second.
Blythe didn't have a very good relationship with his father.
Okay.
Are you typing something, Winton? Oh, you're on the next
Yes, I have been.
page. Oh, you should have told us you're on the next page, man.
I assumed you were following along. I didn't realize.
Setting details. Okay.
No,
Yes.
you should have said something.
Well, we've said Florida and 2078, yet somehow Miami is still better than ever. Maybe they invented a giant vacuum and they're currently dumping all their water in the middle of Africa or something. I don't know.
Okay, so Florida 2078 regional political hegemon blames eggplant farmers for causing sea level rise that swamp cities. Okay, excellent. We will. Okay,
So again, we're just brainstorming here. We're throwing things out. We're being creative, right?
Mhm.
We're tossing things onto a table and seeing what sticks, not to the table, but to our minds.
Yeah, well,
All
this
So
right.
this is sticking in my mind already. I feel.
great. Let's throw
Well,
some
man,
more things out. Let's get
all
real
right.
sticky.
If
Let's
this is
absolutely
sticking,
cover this
um,
table in sticky
Okay.
stuff.
here's some lubricant for you for that thing that just stuck.
We're trying to
I
get that loose.
How?
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think lubricant. That's how lubricant will not is not an anti-adhesive.
Also,
Oh,
look, I understand we're having fun, but unnecessary sexualities, we don't need that here, okay?
Yeah, that's
Like,
like
come on,
putting
be
politics
no,
in
no, no.
games. You
Oh
know.
my God. Okay, can I just get out what I was going to say? Okay. The regional political hegemon blames eggplant farmers for causing sea level. Okay, how do eggplant farmers cause
No,
the sea
no,
level
it's.
rise?
I don't think that matters.
um
I think
by
it's
making
just
people well, I would say something
how
about
are eggplants
being
farmed is a
thirsty.
good question. Let
And
me time for me to
I
Google
don't
Do they
really
eggplant
require?
farming.
I think you're both missing the point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, but okay. Wow, amazing.
The point is that eggplants have been scapegoated for sea level rise, and therefore the eggplants must be oppressed, and eggplant enjoyers are perhaps caught
Okay,
in some sort of
so
untenable middle ground.
okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Okay, because see, now we have to think about the alligators that we have, out. So eggplants are illegal. Okay, and now a black market of eggplants has emerged, maybe.
Well, I think
And
we need to keep in mind. Sorry to interrupt. We need to keep in mind how the player will interact with the eggplants. They are collecting eggplants, so
yeah,
just keep that in mind as we decide how the eggplant factors into the story. Which actually, in fact, having said that, I think I need to, oh, God, here we go, revise some things. Because who cares about farmers? It's the eggplants
Mm,
themselves.
so maybe our character Blythe is tasked with confiscating eggplants, but he doesn't quite know why.
Ooh, this is a good point. He enjoys the
oh
eggplants, but he must also confiscate the eggplants. It's just like equilibrium.
Yes, but he
hmm.
also hasn't really questioned why he's responsible for confiscating eggplants, right? Like that's something that
No,
develops as
we
the
said
story goes on. As
he's an eggplant addict though. I mean, he wouldn't be necessarily confiscated, but why, okay, let's think, why are these, so if we have the eggplants sort of scattered through the level. Okay. Oh, so maybe this could be a player choice, actually. Maybe this is an interesting mechanic, like in Bioshock, when it's like you can either, murder children to increase your powers, or you can, let them go to to free your conscience. Maybe this is the same thing. Blythe can get something, okay, from either. So if he consumes the eggplant, okay, it inflates his head, okay, which clearly is he's into that. Okay, he's into inflation. Okay.
Okay.
Snell has caught the stream. Welcome. We are attempting to determine the backstory here for the game. Okay, so we're saying in a world where there is no where eggplants are illegal, one man has the choice to collect them or to eat them. No, I don't know, man. How do we? Okay, so I think this could be interesting choice though. So like, what would the player like get in advantage, right? So like on the one hand, they collect the eggplants, they grow powerful, but if they turn in the eggplants, what do they get instead? What are you
Sorry.
laughing at?
Topic. I don't know. It's not. It's not related. um, This is a good point. Something that I
Maybe
don't have an answer to yet.
maybe it's his job. Like, I don't know. Maybe if he's confiscating eggplants as part of like his responsibility, he gets rewarded for, you know, confiscating a bunch of eggplants.
Yeah, but what is that
But
reward?
if he eats,
We already said if he
um,
eats them, his head will increase in size. Okay, which is we'll also I guess tie that in with health. You know, sort of like in Mario, you get the mushroom, you grow bigger. Okay, but that's like a one-time thing, right? Like here we have multiple stages of like head growth from consuming eggplant.
maybe it's something story related, like if you were just eating the eggplants the whole time and have nothing to show of your duty to confiscate,
Oh,
there's some kind of story element that you miss out on because you didn't perform your job well.
I think honestly,
maybe.
considering the scale of the thing that we're trying to make, yeah, maybe just
Well, a
It
tougher
might be
enemy
okay for the
could
story.
could come out. I mean, like that, because then we're getting into something like Papers, Please, you know, where you have to like balance. You have to like balance, you know, sort of letting people through the checkpoint with like, you know, your government mandated like rejections or whatever, so you can, you know, feed your family. And but that is that's like a lot. I think in this case we can say like, okay, you have like an eggplant quota, and if you don't meet it, then like harder enemies come, and I don't know. But then that's like tricky because then that's like a rapid difficulty spike where if like you're collecting the eggplants, the game becomes easier. Oh, but then that's the thing. Yeah, then the enemies get harder because you're not turning in the eggplants. Yes, I think I like that. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said.
Phrase it again.
Uh,
Okay. So you have okay. So if you collect the eggplants, okay. So let's say you have a quota, right? So you're a government eggplant collector, okay. So you are attempting to collect the eggplants, okay, and you have to have a certain quota, okay. But if you're not meeting that quota, then like if you're eating the eggplants yourself, if you're consuming the eggplants, then you are becoming more powerful. Okay, like your head's getting bigger, although like you're having some difficulty moving through the world, but you have more health. Okay, but that means that the eggplants are like you're not meeting your quota. So then in response, the government is sending like more powerful enemies at you to come like figure out what the
I've got an
deal
idea
is.
for that idea, but slightly better. If your head
Mm-hmm.
is big, alligators attack you, but if your head is not big, they won't attack you.
Oh, okay.
Rejecting the eggplant means that you are safe from the alligator men, but consuming the eggplant makes you vulnerable to them. However, consuming the eggplant also allows you alternative ways of navigating the environment. So this conflict is then built into the gameplay itself.
Ooh,
I like that.
yes.
I like what you
Yeah.
said. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that a
yeah.
lot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, now we have a very
Let's write that
interesting.
down.
Okay. Yeah.
And one little piece of lore idea that I had is maybe the farmers, the eggplant farmers, due to this banning of eggplants, they started training alligators to protect their farms. And that's kind of one reason these alligators are, trying to fight you for taking the eggplants, because that's, the farmers have trained alligators to do such things.
The alligators are
Who
pretty obvious stand-ins for Republican governors and GOP congressmen.
who
I don't think sorry?
somebody spelled alligator like in the most offensive way. Okay. Alligator. That's like the most southern way I can imagine alligator being spelled. Sorry. Yeah. So well, I also had to point that out because somebody was attempting to inject politics into our apolitical game, which only has lore. The politics could be part of the lore, but they can't be part of the analogy. I hate that so much. I just, man. All right, we won't get into that. We will deal with ranting that stuff later. But okay, but I think this is yeah, but like why are I don't know why are the alligators out there? So you're saying because they're like supposed to protect the farms, but
I was
I feel like if they're goons, then they're not like protecting the farms. They're out there like enforcing the eggplant. They're enforcing the eggplant um, ban. The thing is, I don't think it's the having the big head like in of itself is not gonna allow because it's gonna restrict your movements, but you're also gonna gain the ability to like fly, sort of, you know, through
yeah.
Maybe
through X.
maybe it doesn't. I mean, like, I know that, like, yeah, okay, if we're looking at this like Mario, right, and there's a platform, but your character's too big to pass beneath the platform, that's a problem. But what
Mhm.
if after a certain point, like if the head gets a little big, then you can use it like a jetpack. But what if it also had weight to it so that, certain obstacles it could just barrel through because it's so big, it's like
Mhm.
smashing through walls. This is a more mechanical question, maybe beyond the scope of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
We don't need to, define precisely what we mean by these. Just these are again broad concepts and ideas that we're going to be building off of moving
Well,
forward.
I think if it like lets you fly, right? Like you can't necessarily like let's say there's something like you couldn't necessarily get over. Like you could get under it, but if you're like too big, you can't you're blocked by it, but you can like then fly and you can get on top of it and get over.
Maybe we should also, and this is just an idea for later, think about the terrain and levels in terms of verticality rather
Yeah. Yeah,
than
yeah. That's that's
it's
the
like,
next step is like we need to integrate verticality into into the world.
no, but it's like, how like it's not a side scroller, it's a top to bottom scroller,
Well, I
maybe
mean
with some side
that's
scrolling.
still side scrolling and like platforming, but the platforming is like less horizontal, more vertical.
Okay, all right,
You're
yeah.
trying to like go up, in some way. Which
Yes.
then very it's gonna be interesting for us to think about like how we're gonna how we're gonna how we're gonna deal with that because we can't like
Oh,
go up infinitely. But I mean, I guess we can figure something
not
out.
infinitely, but you can have. I was just thinking this is all a great metaphor for like the eggplants kind of represent information.
Mm-hmm.
And the more information, the more new information you attain for yourself, the more conservatives just view you as, oh, this guy just just has a big head. And
Um,
while consuming this information and giving you a big head, it makes it more difficult to walk the straight and narrow path to conform to the status quo. But having this information helps you to reach higher places that you would never been able to attain before.
This is
okay,
a beautiful reading
so
of an as yet to be produced text, and I fully endorse it.
Okay,
Thank you.
so like as you go up then are we going to have like how are we going to so we should probably then have like story elements or something or like maybe that's where you meet the quote unquote underground is up and they're not actually underground. They're above they're above the sky in like I don't know floating platforms or something and then you can just
I
meet
think
them and you can talk to them about something and they can I
What's your story? Oh, I was a former school teacher back in the 2020s.
okay,
Uh,
all right.
I said gay. And I was arrested, thrown into state prison.
oh man.
Okay, this actually opens up a whole new section. Please move to slide 4. Let's start
Okay.
talking about plot beats. So
Okay. And I think for the purpose of what we're gonna have to do, like it's literally just gonna be like people telling us things because I don't think we can have a very complicated like story mechanic at this particular stage, you know. But I don't, or maybe like maybe there's these quote unquote underground resistance fighters and like yeah they're like locked in a cage and you have to fight like a mini boss or something and maybe this is how the actual game develops is like you just defeat these mini bosses to unlock like the quote unquote underground, and then like once you've defeated enough and you've saved enough people, then you like reestablish the eggplant resistance or whatever, or maybe they're eggplant farmers. Maybe that's maybe that's who you're trying to save, the eggplant farmers.
I mean, do we want to make this a story about, solidarity and people helping each other in order to overcome things, or do we want this to be more like a Doomslayer thing, where our Blythe protagonist just sort of single-handedly beats the DeSantis Gators to
I
death through the power of an eggplant, and
I
not necessarily saves the day, but just sort of saves things by way of careless destruction.
I like the first one, but I mean we can
Okay, all
incorporate
right.
both. Like maybe you're not thinking about it consciously until like you're actually getting in deep. Does that make sense?
Yes, sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this into the plot beats slide.
That's copyrighted. We can't be humming that on stream, dude. The algorithm's gonna come
Hums
for
aren't
us.
copywritten. There's no
No, the melody
copywriting
is.
hums.
The melody is. And if I could
I don't
recognize
know.
it, a robot could possibly recognize it.
Probably.
Can't believe it. They've literally made humming illegal.
Dude, it have. I mean, I told you, like on my like other YouTube channel, like I just uploaded a cover, me and my friend, just some acoustic guitars and just singing, and it got copyright claimed. So, I mean, they're getting pretty sophisticated, man. They're getting pretty sophisticated. I mean, because they can just like, I mean, I guess maybe that's because we were like actually singing the lyrics and they can like distinguish the lyrics. It's like scary, man, how good like speech to text software is now. I mean, it's almost at the point where it can. Well, I mean, you can get like live transcripts like being done. It's like insane
Yeah.
how good the processing is now. So I think they can like look and they see the lyrics and it's like, oh, I know what song this is. So, but and you can do the same thing, I guess, with like processing the notes, and then just like looking and figuring out the timing and just like reversing it mathematically and being like, oh, okay, well this, looks like this copyrighted piece, and this is gonna be crazy, man. I don't know how the future looks with all this, but
Future freaks me out.
we're all terrified.
That's also copyrighted, so
Let's see. Okay. Are you typing something, Winton?
Yeah, sorry. It's just one great big. You're on slide 4. Sorry, it doesn't show you what I'm typing until I like
That's
hit clear,
correct.
doesn't it?
That's correct.
So that's what's down so far.
where the
Okay.
hegemony begins as a stooge. Is there a resistance underground?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the Thieves Guild?
Let's see.
Overexposed.
Says I had a video copyrighted for 8-bit version of the song and it didn't even have the lyrics. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, then that might make sense. You know, they could just be looking at the because again, it's very simple to like figure out like at least for a computer to like process it and look at like what the melody is. So it's possible that they're just building like a database of like copyrighted things. You know, so.
But that
It's,
should only be an issue if they're making money off of. Like, isn't that like
well,
copyright?
what I
If we went
think
camping or
like what I think the legal and again, I'm gonna say this like in terms of just like my legal understanding. Like I'm not passing any like moral judgment here because I obviously I think it's a little bit out of hand too. But like my understanding is like when you have these the legal defense or the legal justification for this is like these derivatives of the work, so like an 8-bit cover of your song, like even if somebody is not making money off of that, you know, they're like associating it or they're like using it in some way which you as the copyright holder may feel, you know, undermines or dilutes your work, and you may not want it to you know, and you feel it may be, you know, taking away the value of whatever your piece is. And it might not be monetary value either. It may, like, for example, like McDonald's in the 90s, I think, or the 80s, I can't remember. They invented this mascot called Moon Man. And he was like this moon guy who would just, like, do songs and stuff, and it was like a hugely successful marketing campaign. It like propelled McDonald's to the prominence it is now. But like recently or semi-recently, like the last 10 years or something, like a lot of racist people, a lot of they got a hold of this and they said like, oh, this Moon Man guy, he's like a white dude at the night, he has like his head is pointy, he's sort of like the Klan, and so they just turned him into like a white power symbol and just like a racist icon, and it's just gotten so crazy and so out of hand that McDonald's just they tried fighting it, I guess, initially, but then they just gave up, and they've just been slowly attempting to erase any association with him, you know. So like even though like all those people, they weren't making any this is again a very dramatic example, you know, so all these people, they were not necessarily making any money off of the association with of this with, you know, their hate speech, but you know, its use was undermining the original intent.
but
Now,
you're saying this is a case where McDonald's couldn't fight back?
They couldn't. Yes, that's correct. They eventually just gave up, and they're slowly or not slowly. They've mostly cut all ties with this mascot. So, you know, so again, that's like that's like a very big dramatic example. Now, for the most part, people are not for the most part people are not like doing that, you know, like if somebody puts
Sorry,
an 8-bit,
was I?
no, I just wanted to, I don't know like how much of I don't know exactly how sophisticated the algorithm is, so, you know, if you're watching a video, like I don't know if it's going to come back and be a problem for us. But anyways,
Okay, I'm going to just to switch us back over.
yes.
I am not satisfied. I'm not satisfied.
Okay,
because
you sound like you need
having the
eggplants.
player. Yes, precisely. Well, see, here's the thing. Why does someone need? Oh, I get it. Sorry, that one took me a second. Why Should player want eggplant? Where's the remember the story beats? Do you remember the story beats? What are stories? Everything you need to know right here: drama, irony, conflict, subtlety, and no politics. But also most importantly, motivation. Right. So let's say that we have this political situation here, a purely fictitious one, of course, where there is an overground and a hegemony, and they're fighting over some key question of, I guess, eggplant ethics. Anyway, why should the player care about any of this? What do we do to Blythe, and what story beats can we create that will foster both a personal investment in the outcome and also give something of an incitement to action? What is something that we do that makes the player want a particular outcome?
Okay, Blythe is an eggplant addict, okay? And eggplants are illegal. So he knows that if he takes his job as an eggplant collector, okay, as like a eggplant enforcement agent, he knows that he has easy access to the eggplants, okay? But he knows he has to also, like, you know, meet some sort of quota to avoid getting caught, you know? And through his
It's like a crack addict joining the DEA so they can sneak some evidence home.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised, okay?
These are good.
You'd
these
be
are
surprised
good
how many
motivations.
like cops are pro weed for themselves, and
These are
Yeah.
good
happy
and
to
very
throw
real
people in
motivations.
jail. So
These are good and very real motivations for the character, but we need one for the player. How do we build the character's needs, quote unquote, into the way that the player views the game?
like we're assuming, so the player themselves, like, we're assuming they're not gonna just accept and role play as this person.
I mean, we could. I think that while that is a perfectly acceptable way to approach storytelling, I also think that maybe this project is too small for what I'm thinking about, and what I need to do is move on to bigger and better things.
I mean, it's also important that we learn how to, you know, storyboard in a way that's engaging to the consumer.
I mean, like, yeah, so I keep forgetting that this is just practice. This is not a real game.
Yeah.
This is not something that people are...
So, all right, so backtrack to what you were just asked. What is an example of another game where the player's motivation is not necessarily the same thing that motivates the player to play?
That's a good question. All right, so we look to other media for examples to follow.
Yeah, I can't even think, like...
Yeah, it's hard. It's like
yeah, I mean, again, you know, we're most similar to like Mario here.
Thinking, like, you know, it's...
What motivates you to be Mario, you know?
It feels like, to some degree, it's all just a bit railroaded. You follow instructions because you are given instructions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what game, like, you know, you look at, like, you know, Knights of the Old Republic, for example, you know, very, very famous, you know, RPG. So many people love, call it like one of the greatest games ever. Like, that game starts off, okay, just the opening credits is just a ship just being blown up, and you wake up in your bed and some dude busts in and he just says, "Oh, the ship is under attack. We have to go save Bastila." And you're just like, "What? Like, who is this? Like, what is going on here?"
Yeah, the entire intro is somebody shouts at you to do things and then you do it. It's not really a video game so much as it is an abuse simulator.
So, you know, Mario, like, I mean, we look at the original games. It's just like you're thrown into the environment. I mean, we can have like an intro screen that's like Florida 2078. You know, eggplants are illegal. You are addicted to eggplant, so you decide to join. You know, the Eggplant Collection Agency. What is a good acronym? Let's think. What is the acronym for this? Like they should have like a
when you
specific agency.
when you describe the story like that, it's almost like the player motivation is just like, this game is such a troll game. I just have to see it the way through, just because the premise is ridiculous.
Yeah. so
That seems like what the player motivation is how ridiculous this world is.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. If we're going to be jumping sharks,
Because I can't really think of any like Dead Space. The motivation is to get off of that ship, right? That's the character motivation. But the player motivation is more like to have a good scare and a good thrill as you're walking down these dark corridors. It's not necessarily to get off the ships.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like the player is looking for some sort of like, you know, they're looking to play a game, right? And then, you know, the story is just like secondary to the game itself, right? So I mean, I think the player is playing because yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. It's just the novelty of like what we're proposing, you know. We could say it formally as like a quote unquote like troll game, but it's not. You know, it's just like yeah, it's so ridiculous somebody's gonna play because they you know, we presenting such an interesting and weird scenario that they have to like see it through, you know.
Yes.
And so maybe, you know, and then that gets to like the environmental storytelling too, is like, you know, as we continue to make like game assets or whatever, you know, we'll have like signs or, you know, things in the environment that are just like, you know, there that you can like not necessarily like I think we want to minimize like text, you know, talking to just like the ends, you know, when you see, but you know, you're going through the city or whatever and you see like a sign that's just like no eggplants, you know, or you know, things that are related tangentially to the society you know, that has banned eggplants. Like what kind of society is this, you know? And they're just like exploring the environments or they see like other, you know, dead or like, you know, other sort of eggplant addicts, you know, on the side of the streets or whatever, getting beat up by the alligators. Um, you know? So.
Oh my god. I was just thinking there's that outlawing of eggplants also means there's like you know, a huge, not overgrown, but underground of, you know, like eggplant cartels. And just the act of making these things illegal, some people almost fetishize the eggplants now.
Okay, yeah, and that
know.
could be like a new class of enemy too. Is just like the eggplant dealers, you know?
Yeah, the cartel. So the alligators are more like the Gestapo, and then you
Yes,
also have the cartel to deal with.
and they're trying to also get the eggplants. So then now we have more conflict. Department for Investigation and Control. I like that.
Ooh, maybe one of the levels is like you have to do a raid on an Italian restaurant that's secretly selling eggplants on the side.
Yeah, we can be,
Big drug
you know,
bust.
again, I know it's like less, you know, I know subtlety is a big thing, but there's like a Middle Eastern food called baba ganoush, which is like made out of eggplants, and I feel like, You know, that could be, you know, like you raiding like a Middle Eastern restaurant, and like, you know, it's just, you know, racially motivated, but the eggplant, you know, thing is just like the cover for it, you know. That could be
Yeah.
that could be very interesting. Um
Anyways, Quentin, when you put us on track, what should we be thinking about right now or next?
Give me a second.
Oh, you're typing something up. What would make you want to compulsively eat eggplant?
So I just found out that dude I've been hanging around with for the last couple of days tested positive for COVID.
oh, okay, very awkward.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. Great. Won't be able to go nowhere for a while. Yay.
Yay.
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, you know, honestly, I'm surprised it didn't hit me first, but we all sort of saw this coming. You know, we're in the middle of a wave. It was going to happen eventually.
Are we in the middle of a wave?
Yeah, it's been sort of subtle because the news hasn't been reporting on it as much for a lot of reasons. Honestly, they've got a pretty heavy news week, and they have for the last few months. But no, yeah, there was I think a fresh wave started. Well, we might actually be at the tail end of it. I don't know. I don't know.
See here, cases going up, not. Well, I guess it's all really relative. Like this here at the beginning of COVID would have been a huge deal.
Well, I'm
I don't
wondering
know if you
too.
can
Like
see
one of
my
the things
screen, but
I wonder is just like, you know, the testing situation has always been so strange. You know, it's like at the beginning it was like hard to test, and then like now it's just like people have like given up on testing to a large extent. So I wonder, like, you know, like it's hard for us to know. I feel like the deaths are accurate, like the death reporting, because it's like when somebody dies, it's just like it has to be processed, you know. But like in terms of actual case loads, like you don't have the same obligation to test, you know, and as you do with
as you do
the
to die.
as with the with like the reporting of deaths. So
Yeah,
although I don't know,
no, for sure.
wasn't there like an actual scandal in Florida, like underreporting the deaths or something? So
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. I think I remember a whistleblower getting
yeah,
arrested
a
over it, and
whistleblower,
then
yeah, some lady, but
Wow.
it just sort of quietly went away, and nobody questioned the fact that a silly alligator man sent a SWAT squad to a government worker's house because they said that they were underreporting. God damn.
yeah, that's it.
Reality is so much crazier than anything we could describe.
That's fucked, man. I really hope they allow boosters for everyone here in like a month or so, because I
Yeah,
have the annual beach trip coming up, and I know none of my family cares to take preventative measures.
Well, look forward to getting it a second time then.
God, dude, I know if it's in my power, I'm not going to get COVID. You know, it's the reason I canceled my Utah trip.
All right, how about this? Department for the Security and Natural Treatment of Institutionalizable Eggplant Lovers.
we will think about that one. But the other two,
So I see this sometimes. People who make acronyms by just this happens a lot in the government for some reason, but they build their acronyms by like putting the capital letter in weird places in the word. Sometimes they use multiple letters from the word, and it's just the most like frustrating thing. That's not how acronyms work. It's just obvious that they really wanted to squeeze a very marketable buzzword, they wanted to squeeze
Yeah.
the acronym into a buzzword that they had already decided on. so they're like hastily trying to pull whatever kind of BS they can to make it fit.
It's sad. It's very. I wonder how often that happened in the like first 10, congressional or congresses.
Well, I don't know. I know
I don't
during
think
like
it did.
FDR's time, it was like really because they were just making so many agencies or whatever that they just. But I don't know. Maybe they weren't like as concerned because they were just like making the agencies, and then they just had like all the acronyms like sort of come out of that without
Okay,
really
so
caring. But
they didn't bother with acronyms in the first Congress or in the first few Congresses because back then they just made their titles super long and really detailed. The very first act to ever pass through Congress was titled "An Act to Regulate the Time and Manner of Administrating Certain Oaths." And I'm
Wow.
willing to bet they just all sounded like, oh my God, I'm not sick, but now I feel sick. I feel like I think I'm getting sick, and I know it's just psychosomatic.
yeah,
God,
it
it's
is because
frustrating,
you were not sick
Yeah, that
before.
sucks, man.
There's no reason you would be sick
No,
right
and then
now.
like all of a sudden, God, it's weird. I feel a little achy. God, is it hot in here?
No, it's just the
Who
alcoholism.
is this guy? Is this a family friend?
Yeah, no, it's Savannah's boyfriend.
Oh my
Ooh.
God. I always wondered, like, in my head, whenever you mention your sister, I just imagine she looks like you, but with like long hair.
It's
don't-
actually the exact opposite at the moment. I have long hair. They have sort of like shaved sides, and then it's kind of like a mohawk.
That's funny.
We also, I guess we look kind of alike. I don't think we look anything alike. I'll show you some pictures one of these days.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
think I've
I
ever
just
seen
I
her.
just imagine like your facial structure, but just like feminine, and it's just funny to me because I can't even imagine like
I don't know if it's possible to translate my facial structure, which is aggressively masculine and I would say almost Herculean. It's just it's hard to translate that. If we assume that feminine facial structures look less than that, which I don't know, maybe it's weird to think about things in those terms anyway. My point being is
yeah. Well, the
I'm
thing
one of
is
the
that's
kind.
weird is like I didn't like my grandpa apparently had like a sister, and I didn't know until she actually died. And then I saw a picture of her, and she literally looked just like my grandpa, but like with like long hair. And it was just like so strange to me. It was just like, how is this? How like
I
it just
don't.
like broke my
Yeah.
brain. I was like, how can they look? Like if you had told me like this was just my grandpa, like in a wig, I would be like, oh yeah, okay. Like that's exactly
See,
what it looked like to me. It was just like
I don't.
it was very interesting. I was shocked.
I don't have that as much. Savannah's face is, I think, more round, less long than mine is. Our jaws are very different. Our chins are very different. I think
Oh,
our
okay.
noses are different. But then also, like, it's hard to think about who each family member looks like. I don't think I look like either of my parents. I look a lot like my granddad, and some of the granddads going further back. I
You
wonder if
guys
maybe...
you guys have the same parents, right? Like that's a weird question, but okay.
Yeah. No, Savannah and I share a mother. Riley and I share a mother, but Riley's dad is my stepdad, and then Alexis was from a completely different marriage entirely.
Wow,
Wait, you have
I didn't know you. I thought you
three
only
siblings?
had two sisters.
Yes.
I thought
Nope.
you had one
And-
sister.
I grew up with 3 sisters.
Oh, wow. The
Wow.
winds and lore just dropped.
This
But
is
Savannah-
I have to repeat this point like every
You-
3 months.
No, I knew about Savannah, and I pretty sure you told us about a second sibling, but I didn't know about the third one. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
Next time we talk about it, there's going to be a fourth.
Well, I didn't even know you had a brother, man. That's Hayden, you
That's
never
the more
shared that
surprising
with
thing, because
us.
I've known you. I've known you since we were children, and I didn't know you had a brother.
No, I guess it just never came up.
Did he not go to school with us or something? Was he really young or really old or?
One would have been a freshman when we were seniors.
What's his
Which
name?
might
One,
be
you
why
have
you
multiple?
drew.
You have multiple siblings?
Yes. No, I have 5.
What?
Oh, he's
no,
nice. That's
you're
a very
lying.
funny joke. Very silly.
No,
You're lying,
it's
dude.
2.
2.
2. That's the truth. Yes.
All right. Well, let's stop doxing ourselves.
Okay.
On
Very interesting.
the knowledge of that news, I'm sort of running out of steam. We've been here for about 2 hours now.
We've been here for
I
an
also
hour
really
and a
want to
half.
show you guys.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, at some point, I want to show you guys that video of Winton and Dakota.
Oh, no.
Jade.
That is not for the
No, no, no.
stream. No.
that's not for the stream.
It's
That's not for the stream. That's
That
not
is
for the
not for the
stream.
stream.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Oh my God.
We, as soon as the stream ends, we can take
The
a
day-
gander at it.
That came off the day that you took that off your YouTube channel. I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, now I'm the only one who knows about it.
Oh, it's so embarrassing, dude.
Oh man. Okay, we won't talk about that anymore. Okay, but if you're tired, I was also kind of dead before we even started stream. I'm not gonna pretend. I am only standing because I filled myself with copious amounts of caffeine.
You're not even doing that. You're sitting.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's wrap this up
So-
quickly. Points moving
Okay.
forward, because I think you did actually raise a pretty important question that's worth going over. Should we be working on this in our spare time? Because I thought about doing that this week. I was going to finish up some
Yes.
details on the faces. I just didn't realize how
Yeah.
little detail I had left to work on. I'm thinking I might
Yeah.
keep working on some Alligator Man models.
Yeah, the
I don't
thing
know.
is,
I might.
so my thing is like I don't want to ask you guys to do something that like I can't do, and I've just been so busy with trying to grind through this PhD over the last few months and all the research I have going on that like, you know, I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I want you guys working off stream, but I won't, you know. So, but if you're
I think
okay,
that's noble. And
if you guys are okay with doing that, I mean, I will join you in the off-stream working hours as well. But because
I mean,
everything's
don't get me wrong.
turning down. So
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be doing this as like a job or anything. I'm not going to
yeah,
put
no,
effort or
no,
work
that's not
into it. But like, if I'm bored one day,
that's not the expectation. But okay.
but like if I'm bored one
Yeah.
day, I might put some work into it. Yeah.
Well, it might be
Definitely.
helpful for us to just like meet and work on stuff, but like not in the stream
I
environment.
also
So
this is it's also this is just the way that I do work personally. I mean, you guys have played Minecraft with me. You know what it's like. You know, when we're all online, I run around in circles and do dumb stuff, but then everybody goes offline and 2 weeks later I've built 4 new castles.
yeah, I know.
So
how
maybe
that,
something about working in solitude is pretty
Yeah.
productive.
Yeah, it's
more
called
productive.
it's called a lone wolf mindset.
Yeah, well, working on stream can be a little difficult for me because I'm trying to like manage so many things, like make sure like what I intend to be on screen is on screen, and you know, make sure things that are not intended to be on
Yeah.
screen are not on screen, and then trying to see if anybody's in chat. So speaking of which, is anybody still left in chat? Feel free to say hello if you're still there, because we also want to say hello to you.
There's
So
one person watching. I don't know if that's a Winton.
allegedly, okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyways, okay, but
Well, I think this is a fine start.
but yeah. So
Sorry,
okay,
go ahead.
cool. So yeah, I think. Okay, so I guess for next, so I guess we have some ideas for storyboarding. Some progress has apparently been made on the animation front. We've done some new art. Yeah, so we'll just continue this work next week, same time. So
Slow and steady.
slow and steady. All right.
We're getting
Well,
there.
We are certainly getting there. So Wow, look, we have
All right.
so great great work everybody. We will thank you all for
Indeed.
joining the stream. We will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Go away.